Captain Jack Reynolds stood before the mirror in his quarters, adjusting the collar of his dress uniform for the 7th time. Earth's first official diplomat to the Galactic Council. The brass had chosen him because of his unflappable demeanor under pressure. In reality, they just needed someone who could keep a straight face while explaining humanity to a bunch of aliens who'd somehow concluded that Earth was a death world. Captain Reynolds to the bridge, came the announcement over the intercom. "Our escort has arrived." Jack sighed. Showtime. The escort ship was sleek, organic-looking, and entirely too fragile in Jack's opinion. Its pilot, a being named HFY, had 6 limbs, iridescent scales, and enormous eyes that seemed perpetually on the verge of panic. "Greetings, Earth diplomat," HFY's translator chirped. "I am to convey you to the Council station. Please refrain from any sudden movements or displays of aggression during transit." Jack raised an eyebrow. "I'll try to contain myself." The journey to the Council station took 3 days, during which HFY maintained a minimum safe distance of 10 feet from Jack at all times. By the 3rd day, Jack had grown tired of the alien's nervousness. "Look, I'm not going to eat you," Jack said during their scheduled mealtime. "Humans are omnivores, not carnivores, and we generally prefer our food not to talk back." HFY's scales shifted color slightly. "Your attempt at humor is noted, but our preliminary studies of Earth have been most disturbing. Your planet harbors numerous apex predators, and you yourselves display all the evolutionary markers. Such as forward-facing eyes, blunt omnivorous dentition, pursuit predator endurance, and most concerning, HFY paused dramatically, you keep smaller predators as pets." Jack nearly choked on his synthetic coffee. "You mean cats and dogs?" "Precisely. Only a predator species would domesticate other predators for companionship. It is most unsettling." "Wait until I tell you about tiger sanctuaries," Jack muttered. The Council station was a marvel of engineering, a massive spinning wheel housing representatives from over 200 species. Jack was escorted to temporary quarters designed to accommodate Earth's gravity and atmospheric requirements. The room was reinforced like a bunker. "The Council will convene in 6 hours," HFY informed him. "Please remain here until then." Jack spent the time reviewing his briefing materials. According to Earth's preliminary intelligence, the Galactic Council operated on a fear-based hierarchy. Species were classified by their perceived threat level, with the most dangerous gaining the most influence. It explained why they'd been so eager to invite Earth to join after their initial observations. What the Council didn't realize was that humans were far from the most dangerous things on Earth. The Council chamber reminded Jack of a theater in the round, with tiered seating surrounding a central speaking platform. As he entered, a hush fell over the assembled aliens. Most seemed to possess some prey characteristics: large eyes, excellent hearing, quick movements. Very few showed any predator traits. "Representative of Earth," announced a tall, willowy being with antennae that continuously twitched. "I am Trelnok, High Mediator. Please approach the center platform." Jack walked forward, conscious of hundreds of eyes tracking his every movement. "The Council welcomes Earth to this assessment hearing," Trelnok continued. "We have reviewed the preliminary data on your world and species, and seek clarification on several points before granting full membership status." "I'm happy to answer any questions," Jack replied with his most diplomatic smile. A ripple of discomfort passed through the chamber. "Please refrain from displaying teeth," whispered an aide nearby. Jack closed his mouth quickly. "Apologies. Cultural difference." The questions began innocuously enough. Earth's atmospheric composition. Human physiological tolerances. Then they turned to Earth's biosphere. "Our observers report that your world contains numerous large predatory species," said a representative with 4 arms and skin like polished amber. "Yet humans have established dominance. How did your species accomplish this?" Jack considered his response carefully. "We're not the strongest or fastest creatures on Earth. We succeeded through intelligence, cooperation, and endurance." "Endurance?" questioned another council member. "Humans are pursuit predators," Jack explained. Before we developed tools, we would chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. The entire chamber went silent. Someone made a sound like a stifled scream. You chase prey? Tralnock's antennae were rigid with horror. Historically speaking, Jack clarified quickly. These days we just go to grocery stores. This did not seem to reassure them. And what of these companion creatures? Asked another representative, displaying images of cats and dogs. Our observers report that you allow these predators to live in your dwellings. Dogs have been our companions for thousands of years, Jack said. We evolved together. They help protect us, and we care for them. Protect you from what? Came the obvious question. Other predators, originally. More horrified silence. Things went downhill from there. Jack's casual descriptions of Earth wildlife, intended to show Earth wasn't unique, only caused more alarm. When he mentioned that Australia contained 21 of the 25 most venomous creatures in the galaxy, a representative fainted. Perhaps we should take a recess, Tralnock suggested, antennae twitching spasmodically. Jack returned to his quarters, frustrated. This was not going well. He opened a secure channel to Earth Command. They're terrified of us, he reported. Almost every council species evolved as prey, not predators. They think we're monsters. That complicates things, replied Admiral Chen. But remember your mission, Captain. We need this alliance. I know, but... The station's alarm system activated, cutting him off. Red lights pulsed and an announcement in multiple languages echoed through the corridors. Jack's door slid open, revealing a panicked HFY. The station is under attack. The Vrox have breached the outer defenses. The who? A non-council species. Scavengers and raiders. They target vulnerable stations and ships. The Vrox, as it turned out, had 6 limbs like HFY but resembled nothing so much as bipedal hyenas with crude cybernetic enhancements. They moved in packs, disabling station security and herding terrified council members into the central chamber. Jack observed from a service corridor, having convinced HFY to show him the station's layout. The council members were paralyzed with fear, offering no resistance. The station's security forces, mostly comprised of automated systems, had been quickly neutralized. Don't you have any defense protocols? Jack whispered. The council abhors violence, HFY replied. Our security is designed to contain aggressive species, not repel attacks. This has never happened before. Jack's communicator vibrated. Reynolds here. Captain, we've received your emergency signal, came a familiar voice. Commander Elena Vasquez, his second-in-command, had arrived with Earth's diplomatic vessel. We're docked at the emergency port. What's the situation? Hostile takeover. Unknown number of attackers. Most council members captured. No casualties yet, but the station's critical systems are compromised. Orders? Jack thought for a moment. Prepare for breach and clear tactics. I'll mark targets from inside. And Elena? Bring the package. Copy that. Vasquez out. HFY stared at him with those huge, terrified eyes. What are you going to do? What humans do best, Jack replied. Protect our pack. Using the service corridors, Jack made his way to the environmental control room. The station's life support was automated, but had manual overrides. He accessed the controls and began adjusting settings for specific sections of the station. Captain, we're in position, Elena reported. Team of 6 ready to breach. Execute on my mark, Jack replied, finishing his preparations. 3, 2, 1, mark. He activated the environmental controls. In the sections where the Vrox had positioned guards, the temperature plummeted and oxygen levels dropped. Not enough to cause permanent harm, but enough to disorient. Simultaneously, he triggered the fire suppression system in the central chamber, filling it with dense, obscuring fog. The confusion gave Elena's team the opening they needed. They breached the station through the emergency docks, moving swiftly through the corridors in tactical formation. Jack returned to XYLR. "Stay here. I'm going to the central chamber." "You cannot. The Vrox will kill you." "Probably not," Jack said with a confidence he didn't entirely feel. "They're pack hunters. I know how they think." The central chamber was chaos. The Vrox were disoriented by the fog and environmental changes. The council members remained frozen in place, too terrified to move even with this opportunity. Jack spotted the Vrox leader, distinguished by more elaborate cybernetics. He approached openly, hands visible. "This station is now under human protection," Jack announced. The Vrox leader snarled, translator converting it to words. "The soft council races have found themselves a predator ally? Interesting, but futile." "I'm giving you one chance to leave," Jack said calmly. "We don't want bloodshed." The Vrox pack chittered with what Jack assumed was laughter. "You are one, we are many." "About that," Jack smiled. "I'm not alone." On cue, Elena and her team entered the chamber from different access points, creating the illusion of a larger force. They carried the package, non-lethal but highly intimidating sound weapons designed specifically for this mission. The weapons emitted frequencies that triggered primitive fear responses in most mammalian brains. When activated, the effect was immediate. The Vrox pack scattered, disorganized, and confused. Their leader held ground momentarily before Elena targeted him directly. He fled, following his pack back to their ship. As the fog cleared, Jack found himself surrounded by stunned council members. "You fought them off?" Tralnock's voice was barely audible. "Without killing?" "That's what humans do," Jack shrugged. "We protect our own. And right now, that includes the council." The aftermath was a flurry of activity. Station systems were restored, security protocols upgraded, and the council convened an emergency session. Jack and Elena were invited to attend. "The council has witnessed something unprecedented," Tralnock announced. "We have long classified species by their threat potential, assuming predator traits indicated aggression and danger." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. "But today, we observe that predator instincts can be protective, not merely destructive. Humans used their predatory nature to defend, not attack." Jack stepped forward. "On Earth, the most dangerous predators aren't always the most successful ones. The successful ones are those who protect their pack, who cooperate, who understand that strength comes with responsibility." Elena joined him. "Humans aren't perfect. We have a long, sometimes violent history. But we've learned that our predator instincts can be channeled toward defense and protection." The council deliberated briefly before Tralnock spoke again. "The council extends full membership to Earth, with a special designation. You will serve as protectors, using your unique evolutionary traits for the benefit of all." "We accept," Jack said. 3 months later, the first official human embassy opened on the council station. Jack, now Ambassador Reynolds, welcomed a delegation of council representatives for a cultural exchange. "And this," he said, presenting a small container, "is what we call ice cream." The representatives approached cautiously. One brave soul extended a sensory appendage to sample the dessert. "It is pleasing," they admitted with surprise. "Your predator foods are not all flesh and blood." Jack chuckled. "Most of our favorite foods are plant-based, actually." The cultural exchange continued with presentations on Earth music, art, and most popular of all, videos of humans rescuing animals. "You risk yourselves for non-sapient creatures?" asked an incredulous council member after watching firefighters save kittens from a tree. "We have a soft spot for vulnerable things," Elena explained. "Especially the fuzzy ones." The final event of the day was the arrival of Earth's newest diplomatic tool, a specially trained therapy dog named Ambassador Buddy, a golden retriever with an exceptionally calm demeanor. The council representatives were initially terrified of the canine diplomat, but Buddy's gentle nature won them over. By the end of the day, several were tentatively petting him, marveling at the concept of interspecies companionship. As the delegation departed, HFY, now the Council's official liaison to Earth, approached Jack. I must confess, Ambassador, I still find aspects of human nature disturbing. But I am learning to appreciate the protective aspects of predator psychology. That's progress, Jack smiled, careful not to show teeth. Though I should tell you something important. Yes? Humans aren't actually Earth's apex predators. HFY's scales shifted to a pale color. What do you mean? Jack pulled out his personal device and displayed an image. This is a mosquito. Technically, they've killed more humans than all other animals combined. They're the real apex predators of Earth. HFY stared at the tiny insect image, then at Jack, then back at the image. His translator emitted a sound that might have been a sigh. Your planet is terrifying, HFY said finally. Jack laughed. Yes, but we've got ice cream. Fair trade, I'd say. As HFY left, Jack turned to Elena. I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Just wait until they discover horror movies, Elena replied with a grin. Jack winced. One step at a time, Commander. One step at a time.